All right, we have a lot of information to get to, so we'll get right down to business. We're talking about making the transition from single and perhaps dating to commitment. And the question is, do you find yourself meeting people that you think that you might like long term? But when you meet them, you don't know a lot about them, and so you think you might like them, but after getting to know them better, you find yourself liking them less because now you have more information. Or is the truth the other way around? Are the people that are meeting you, do they believe initially, without better information, do they believe that they like you initially, but after getting to know you better, they find themselves liking you less? If that's the reality, then is this because you have not properly addressed your non-transitionable, your non-transferable characteristics for a healthy relationship of the highest commitment? In other words, if you have not addressed your relationship weaknesses, then the people that you are meeting, on the surface, they may be very intrigued by you or attracted to you, but you begin to reveal those unaddressed issues, and then you begin to turn them away. If you are unfamiliar with your non-transferable behaviors, the obvious ones are negative attitudes or bad attitude in general. It could be something as obvious or blatant as your temper, or maybe you have a foul mouth or something to this effect. These are easy to pick out. You say you want to meet a decent man, but you don't talk or speak or sound or act like a decent woman, and so the two cancel each other out, unfortunately. Maybe it's something as easy as being spoiled and selfish, but those are easy. You can, those are, people would have told you those things by now. But whatever it is, it's one of those things that your pastor can't fix it for you, and the man that you meet or your mate can't fix it for you. This is something that you absolutely have to fix yourself. And by now, you should know what needs fixing. So let's give you, let's say 9, maybe 10 things to think about going forward. Number 1, you want to address, you should know by now, the real reason why you are single. In other words, not the Facebook reason, not the reason you tell your friends, but the reason that you know deep down in your heart why you are single or single again, still single or single again. And then you're going to want to work on acquiring a taste for those things that are beneficial for a healthy relationship. In other words, you're going to want to put some things on your relationship plate that nourishes not only yourself, but will be nourishment for your next relationship that should be more of a long-term, healthy relationship of the highest commitment, if that is in fact the goal. And you should start putting away those artificial colors and flavors, all of the stuff with pizzazz. You know, children have to have all the bright colors and all the fizz and the fillers. But see, these things can be toxic if we're talking about relationships. It may look good and fun on the surface, but it lacks the proper nutrients that you're going to need to have a healthy, strong relationship on the highest level of commitment. So we want to put away those childish things, if you will. You're going to want to, number 3, the question is, what are you or what have you been paying attention to? You say that you want better communication. This is what we took a little poll, and the majority of you said that you're looking for better communication. But I told you this has nothing to do with your ability to speak or or to listen for that matter. But what you're going to want to get real good at is paying attention, close enough attention, because the highest form of communication is actually not done with words, it's actually done with action. And you need to pay attention to actions and non-actions. I mean, people who study birds and wildlife can communicate with animals, and why? Just because they pay attention to them. How come you can't communicate better with another human being? It's probably because you don't pay close enough attention to what's really going on. Number four, I mentioned a negative attitude. If you have a negative attitude about commitment, then you're going to have to fix this. And in order to fix this, you're going to have to acknowledge, number five, that you are actually not satisfied with the reality of not having met the person that you want to share your life with. Stop acting like you're okay with it, because you're not. And I know that you're not, because you have told me that you're not. But you don't, you put that honesty and truth aside when you're out among your other friends doing your thing. You're going to want to go ahead and acknowledge the real truth that you are not happy. And I don't want to go there, because you're going to push back and say, yes, I'm happy because I'm happy by myself. And so don't get distracted by the word happy. That's why I use the word satisfied. You're actually not satisfied with your status. You would much rather be in a healthy relationship with the highest level of commitment. And we're not going to argue about that. But so let's go away from happy. Yes, you're happy and single and all of that. That's great. But you're not satisfied, because that was not the goal. The goal was not to be single again or still single at this point of your life. Let's go forward. Number six, you want to put away the attitude and the language that prevents you from transitioning into the person that can recognize and develop those habits for a healthy relationship of commitment. In other words, put away not only the attitude, but the verbiage, the language that goes along with covering up the fact that you are not satisfied. Stop saying, in other words, number seven, this is just who I am. I think if I hear that again, I might just go crazy. This is just who I am. And I always have to come back and say, well, who you are is still single and single again. And you're not satisfied with that. So stop saying this is who I am. And let me ask you the question, who can you become? Because I contend that the person that's actually looking for you, or that's a good match, a good mate for you, is looking for who you can become, not who you are presently. So you need to get to work on you so that you can be recognizable and become who you can become. This is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's called self-development. Number eight, finally, as for those unfixable things, because there are such things as those things that cannot actually be fixed, but are they within your manageability? In other words, number nine, you have to remember that the thing that actually sets you apart are those quirky things that may not be the sexiest part of your nature. You may have certain anxieties, you might have certain insecurities, and that's fine. But in a nutshell, can you manage them? Are they within your manageability? Because before you can make a commitment to someone else, you need to make a commitment to self-develop. That's the first commitment. And then you want to commit to growing up. You want to commit to becoming an adult, not just in your numerical age, but in your thinking, in your language, and in your behavior. As a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child, but when I became an adult, I put away those childish things, something like that. And number 10, if I'm talking to sisters, if the man that is in front of you does not treat you as though you are worth the same effort, if he's not developing himself for you, you need to pay attention to that too, because remember, I've told you, and I'll tell you again, that the right man, sisters, will work really hard to become whatever is required of him by the woman who has captured his heart. You can take that one to the bank. The right man will work really hard to become whatever is required of him for the woman who has captured his heart. Remember, I'm only here trying to help. Remember these 10 points, and we'll keep going. We'll keep building upon this concept. But I'm only here to help because I want for you what I want for myself. I want you guys to be healthy. I want you to be happy. I want you to live a life of longevity and of fulfillment. And I do want you to find that right relationship which carries with it the highest level of commitment. I want that for you because I know that's what you want for yourself. Why? Because you have told me so. And as always, I'm looking forward to your response. Stay tuned to the relationship registry and form. It's coming this fall, and we're going to get down and develop some of those skill sets to help us to transition into healthier mates and to find that perhaps that next relationship which will take your entire quality of life to the next level. All right, so looking forward to that too. Hey, let me hear back from you guys. We'll keep it going. My name is Jay Jackson.